What up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We have me, AD. To my left, right is my brother like no other, Kaneem Curvey, Camp Low, aka Camp Low.
This
You
is
may
it.
not know.
What?
Yeah, they know that song. That's probably they may know so they may know it. They may know it. Maybe that's it. And then I have right below me, Brian A. McCrory Sr. in the building. And to my diagonal, bam, right there. You know, it's Mental Health Wednesday with none other than Mat Jeanius, aka Ayo Matt, and Father
That's
Genius
Ayo.
in the building.
That's Ayo right there. That's Ayo.
Ayo. Oh, okay. Ayo.
That's
Yeah.
In the
Ayo. I'm
building.
mad.
In the building. In the building. All right, guys.
Sound
We're
sound
gonna
like
kick
something I say if I was in Baltimore.
Right.
Baltimore. We gotta Baltimore. You gotta run it all together.
Yeah,
Baltimore.
yeah, yeah. No pronunciation, no syllable.
Right. That's how you know they from there. Yeah, from Baltimore. Like, you are. You are. You are. All right, let's go. Let's go. Hold on. Click it. Nope. Did I click it? Did I click it? Nah.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
All right. My bad. I'm sharing. I'm sharing. You ever pick up your phone and be like, why did I pick this thing up?
Yes. Oh, I did want to. Before you get started, Matt. I know the show.
No.
Now, before Matt got the topic for today. I just want to get a few things in right quick.
All right, let's go. Let's go. What's up?
I saw the Monique program on Netflix.
She did stand up? Was it stand
Stand
up?
up on Netflix, right?
Okay.
So
Wait, she did stand up on Netflix? She got it? I missed all that news, but go ahead.
yeah, so she did stand up on Netflix, and I thought it was gonna be a lot funnier than it was
Right.
because it wasn't really all that funny.
Okay.
But she did give some insight on, you know what I'm saying, very about the situation. But she didn't really touch on it too deep,
Right.
but she did call out Lee Daniels and you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third. But
She was cool though. She apologized, right?
oh no, well, no apology.
Or
Well,
they
no,
not apologies. They made up. They made up. They
well, no,
made it.
well, yeah, nah, they made up. Wasn't no
Not
apologizing, but
apologizing. Not apologizing.
you
Yeah.
know, not on that show. But I was just it don't because I seen her stand up before,
Right.
so it don't remind me of what I see the last time. I think the last time I saw her, she was at the women's prison doing stand up.
Okay.
But I'm curious to know if some of the other podcast listeners and watchers what they thought about the Monique
Special.
stand up. I am Monique.
Oh, that was the name of it. I am Monique.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
anyway,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's
check
all
it
I
out.
have for right now.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, it's a lot to that. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like yeah. I think a lot of it from my perspective, where I stand, what I've seen. I don't know. It seemed like it went further than it should. Some of that for me, I felt like should have been like more just stay. It should have stayed in the background conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm fussing with Pastor right now. I'm fussing with you. Like whatever it is, like me and you beefing, but not here. Like if we hashing it out behind scenes, even if we're going back and forth, we ain't reaching agreement, but I get what I say what I say, but for it to be all in the public like this, I mean, to me, it didn't cast a good light on her.
And she did let everybody know that she liked women too. She want one right now.
Father in heaven.
She want one right now. She probably
Not
got
with dad. Not when she got daddy.
And she probably got a little pink cloud right here with a naked woman on it, right? Like,
not when she got daddy. Oh, she got daddy.
Now she got a husband. Now
I know that's and she called him daddy or something.
Yeah. She said that. She said that. She thought about it. This, that, third, and she told her husband about it. It ain't like she told her husband about it before she put it out there to us, of course.
I got you, of course. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You would hope so.
He know.
Right.
Well, I'm pretty sure that fantasy has been fulfilled by now. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead for sure. You like, yo, you want somebody else too? Well, let me get my recliner. Y'all go ahead, get down.
Alrighty. I'll just say this. I liked Monique before she lost the weight. I liked the Monique before she lost the weight. I'll say that.
She's still pretty thick though.
I mean, I'm just saying. I like what's that show? The Parkers. I like the Parkers Monique.
She talked about that too.
Yeah. that's the one I like, you know. This sweet baby Monique. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's TV Monique now.
Right. Hey, sweet babies. I was like, come on, stop it. That's not. It's not you. just be you. We like you. You know, talking about the skinny. As you know, I get it.
I don't think you're gonna get that Monique ever again. So Miss Parker Monique.
Yeah, like that's who everybody loves. That's the one everybody over across the board loves.
Monique is Precious Mama from now on.
That's what she is now.
No.
That is not a good look.
I know, but you know how everybody got their lane.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Monique is a true actress. She got another movie that's on came on BET.
Right.
And when I tell you, she played that part. Now everybody else in that movie sucked.
Well, she played her part.
Hey, Monique,
she stood out.
When I tell you, I mean,
I
she
agree.
was the lead in it.
Yeah,
but you see why she was the lead in it.
I mean, listen. Let me just say this. Put this out there because I know I could. Okay. Let me just put this out there. I think she's a great actress.
Oh no,
I think she's a great actress. Like because she was in Big Meech. What's the
BMF?
BMF. She's in that, you know, and she's phenomenal. Like you look like it's natural.
You gotta see her in that BET movie, man. When you see her in that BET movie, because she played like this little psycho lady.
So you know, but you know what paused me when you say BET movie. You were like,
no.
Okay.
Like literally, if it would have went, it didn't belong on BET. Let me say.
Okay.
If
that means
belonged somewhere, either on
so maybe Netflix,
Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Netflix.
That's a step up.
Yeah.
Because Amazon be having some janky stuff too. I'm gonna get into a topic, but Amazon.
Yeah,
I think it's BT. It's Tubi. Tubi's like it's BT. Then it's Tubi, and then Amazon Prime, and then I get Netflix.
I ain't never seen nothing on Tubi.
Yeah,
I can't.
Oh man,
anyway,
I just watched. You good? I know. We kind of off topic. I'm just trying to warm everybody up a little bit.
Okay,
But yeah, Tubi is interesting. I just watched.
Not to help win, Mat Jeanius in the building.
In the building.
Listen, man, let's keep it going, man. I love the energy. You know? I actually watched the Netflix special from
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, what you thought, brother?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was gonna be a whole lot funnier than what it was.
I can see that. I can see that because
She
after
got emotional and
all
started
that,
crying.
all that time away. But
She did the Michael Jackson. She started crying.
she
Yeah,
did
she
get
started
emotional.
crying.
It was a very, like after not being around that audience, being on the stage like that, it was a very emotional. She did it in Atlanta too. She did it here in the city of Atlanta,
Wow.
And so for her, it was a very emotional homecoming for her to really get it out. So, whatever the expectation was, you got to erase that, man. You got to people. She was away
going
from
with no expectations.
yeah. She was away from it for a while. She had some
You gotta
highlights.
kinda,
I think the next one gonna be serious because it gave us some context that we have never known before, and so
Yeah, that's true.
that's vulnerable, to
Right.
so
That's true.
and I think she said some stuff that would challenge a lot of people. If they listen to it, it would challenge a lot of us on how we relate to each other as just people, as family members, as friends, and so I really enjoyed it, but I'm a different breed, so
Don't do that.
But you're also looking at it from the perspective of what her journey has been.
Right.
You look at it from the perspective of this being an opportunity for her to express, to share some things, versus someone who goes into it strictly for the entertainment value.
Right. She made it very intimate, and I think we have been way too privileged sometimes to see behind the curtains of people's lives,
Right.
Because without seeing that, we have a judgment. But then when we do see it, we still have a judgment,
Right.
And so it's like you can't lose being in the limelight, I read this article years ago about the price of fame.
Right.
And man, that article was so vicious. It was saying that you think, and I think there's a song from a rock band years ago talked about the price of fame, but it really talks about what it costs you to be in that spotlight, because your life is never private. Every mistake that you make is highlighted.
Right. It's gonna be public.
Right. And so for a woman, for a Black woman, for a person who has gone through all these things, polarized, good and bad, this was an opportunity for her to clear the air, and a lot of
she cleared it too.
She sure did. She sure did. And so.
But I hear you. I was like, it was coming. I hear you.
Right.
I understand.
But it's coming. However, however, right.
Right. We don't say but anymore. However,
furthermore,
I think with a lot of it though, like, it was, from my perspective, a lot of the fire and the flame, was stuff that she kind of kept lighting, if that makes sense. Like, and I watch, and I'm gonna check it out. I'm personally going.
It makes sense. It makes sense. But like I said, sometimes.
But sometimes I'm saying sometimes you got to answer. Like when things happen, like we get to a certain status, something happens. They're like, "Yo, AD, you got to say something." Like,
do you?
Oh, maybe not.
Because maybe not. That's a part of how we've been responding to the spotlight. We think that we're under a microscope and we have to answer to everybody's question, wants, needs, and desire, which is unhealthy.
Right.
There are people that feel that they can dictate how you move in your life because it doesn't make them feel comfortable. Right.
True.
That's what I can appreciate about Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
I mean to cut you off, Doc.
No, that's fine.
He's always lived a life of commonality.
Right.
He never hid himself. He never portrayed himself as a superstar. He just kept going to Publix, kept doing all, and so when you see him, you're not, even if you are, it's quickly reduced because he's so common.
Right.
And I think what happens is we find stardom, we find success, and we get into that elitist bubble.
Right.
And then when things settle, mentally we have to adjust.
Right.
I was looking at a interview with, and this is not a person of color, but Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves, you will never, ever catch him in public putting his hands on a woman, shaking hands, hugging, embracing. He does not touch women publicly. Wow. That's how he lives his life because he doesn't want anything to be misinterpreted.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm saying like I don't know how you live like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't
Price
know
of
how you
fame.
live.
It's the price of
It's the
fame.
price of fame. Exactly.
Yeah.
I just heard this young girl, Angel Reese, LSU. She's
Yes.
all over everywhere.
Right.
And she even talked about it in one of her interviews. She said, you know, all of a sudden everybody knows who I am. People want to, you know, get in touch with me. People want to touch me, want to handle me, you know, and the cameras are out. And I think it's great. She says, I know it comes with the territory, but sometimes.
Right.
But sometimes. And what happens, the media will capture the sometimes.
Right.
And exploit your sometimes.
Right.
100%.
And you can't handle it. Not a lot of people can handle that. And so they dig themselves into a hole. And I believe that that in a particular situation with Monique, to your point, Kaneem, I believe that something that should have been handled behind closed doors became way too public.
Right.
And emotions got involved.
Right.
And so now she's recovering.
Right.
100%. From all of that, which is what we're getting a chance to experience. I think that the greatest part about the community is the welcome mat. You're always welcome.
Right. That was a beautiful thing that I saw.
Yeah.
You know, they really did embrace her. But it's, you know, it's just a story that we tell. You know, I think sometimes because we live our lives on a social media platform, sometimes we feel the scrutiny of other people looking at us, and then we move according to how we think they think about us. You know,
right.
You know, I have a friend who, you know, his family lives here too. He has 5 boys. And so our families were, you know, right next to each other. I had 3 kids. He had 3 boys. You know, I had 3 girls. He had 3 girls. I mean, 3 boys. And then he had 4 boys and I had 4 girls. Then he had 5 boys. Then I have, you know, then I had my boy, you know, and so, but the big family, you know, sometimes people look at that and they make assumptions about who you are and what that means and what that represents, and you know, your carelessness, your recklessness, and why would you do that, and this is not the time, and look what's going on outside, and all these other things that if you allow it to infiltrate your mind, then you would lose it and you won't be able to be effective in the things that you should be doing, which is being a great father, being a great husband, being a great, you know, X, Y, and Z. And so sometimes we just have to block it all out and then find our own sense, which brings us, you know, to what your topic is, you know, the personality things, you know. And so sometimes we have to like learn how to block what others, the others that are in our heads, and they're in there. You know, you got to narrate. You know, last night I heard Morgan Freeman narrating my dreams all night. He's just in there narrating my dreams. You know, it's just in there.
Matt,
you know.
Today, Matt, we're going
right.
Now, today, Matt, you
Morgan Freeman just in my mind, narrating my life. I'm like, Morgan, you know?
Be mindful, Matt.
Right.
The car is coming around the corner.
That's awesome. Don't believe it's mind over matter. Today, Matt, you.
Hey, but listen,
Matt does matter.
Right. That's one of the more pleasant voices that I've heard. You know, he was saying more positive things. So I welcome that voice. But
no doubt.
We have a lot of other things that we assume is us, you know, it's a part of us, but you got to be able to decipher what is you, what is really you, what you decide to be you, that personality, that voice, you know, the higher self, lower self, you have to always decide. So decisions need to be made, you know, capitalizing on your personality. How do you do that? To thine own self be true. Start there.
Yeah, man. Indeed. Just a side note, that'll be a great motivational every day. Okay, Anthony, today.
Morgan Freeman, right?
Morgan Freeman every day. Today. I just need you to say my name. Today's going to be the day.
Right? You can do it.
It's going down.
You can do it. You know, you can go to one of those AI platforms.
Right. You're right. Oh, man.
Morgan Freeman voice.
I'm going to find that. All right.
Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Anthony.
Capitalizing on your personality. We have Mat Jeanius, our therapist in the building. Appreciate you for being here with us. And it's, you know, we talk about different personalities and how to kind of navigate the positive portions of what you can do, you know, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And, you know, one of the big things are the extroverts and the introverts. And I'll say for me, I mean, I don't know. There'll be introverted moments, you know. But it's finding the positive in these personalities, you know. For the most part, I know we talk about the good parts of extrovertedness, where you can kind of just be open, speak your mind, you know, be comfortable in the crowd of people, and just step into a space that, you know, where someone that's in an introverted space may be uncomfortable. So today I kind of want to talk about how do you overcome the uncomfortableness of your personality, if that's too broad. I know we
No,
kind of narrowed it down.
that's just fine. That's just fine. You know, language is one of those things that we don't explore enough. You know, like
Okay.
really understanding where some of these things came from. You know, and so in the English language, personality is a word that was probably formulated maybe, I don't know, like 1,000, 2,000. You know, it's not that old. You know,
Right.
and then to develop the ideas of personality types, that's not a very old concept.
Right.
But yet what happens is that because it's the most familiar, it's the one that sinks in easily to our consciousness, we just accept it readily to say, this is what I am, because it explains me in a way that I understand. And so I'm going to accept this reality to be true. I am an introvert. I am an extrovert, right?
Right.
I am a sanguine. I'm a choleric. I'm a, whatever else. There are a whole bunch of personality types. The point is, I think what we have done really good, we've done very well at this, is accept predisposed realities for ourselves, predisposed understanding for ourselves, meaning you didn't have a choice but to fall in line with what somebody else has already said about you. This is your personality, so this is how you should carry yourself according to what others have studied to be true
about this personality.
So the question that you have to ask sometimes is, what were our personalities before the word was even in existence? You know, who were we, and how do we identify our strengths and weaknesses based on our own understanding and consciousness that was already given to us? Meaning, this is Black folks. Black folks are magical, man. Don't let anybody fool you about Black folks. They're very magical, man. You know, so Black folks would have specific ceremonies when, and this is historical, man. You can go south, north, east, west. You will find this. People will have ceremonies when the baby will come into this world, and they will take it to the elder. And the elder, of whether male or female, would be like, "Let me look at this child. Let me get a good look at you. Put you in the in the candlelight. Let me look at you. Put you in the moonlight." And then they will determine, based on their own intuitiveness, based on their own lived experience, based on what's been passed down, an understanding of who this person's personality type, everything is. They even sometimes would name the person according to what their senses would tell them. And so I think sometimes when we're so quick to just align with the personality type, align with a lot of these theories, what we do is we accept what is good, but we also accept what is not healthy about those personality types as well. So basically, they will tell you what your strengths are, but they will tell you these are weaknesses, and then you have to adhere to them. And so when they show up, you be like, well,
that's me.
That's just who I am. And I'm like, well, we have to determine based on a level of our own understanding. Well, what do you want to feel? How do you want to present yourself? Are we really all stuck inside of what these personality boxes say that we are? Because it's easy to do a personality assessment. You go online, you be like, you go to WebMD or something. My toe hurting. You got 6 months to live.
You got that gangrene.
Right. So I think we have to do our own investigation to see where we align.
Right.
But also make sure that we don't just prescribe to it. I say, this is exactly what I am and forever will be.
Right.
The expressions that a tiger can't change his stripes, and all these expressions that keep us aligned with one specific reality, we got to learn how to spread that out,
No doubt.
So there was a point in time where I was an introvert.
Right.
But my introvertness was because there were too many extroverts.
Right. It's overwhelmed with all this extroverts.
I went to high school where there's 1,000 extroverts per class. Now you got to compete. Who's going to be the loudest? So for me, it was easy to just
sink in.
And sometimes that's what you have to do to make it to a specific time frame. And so, yes, you can have a person that goes through an extrovert period of time, introvert period of time, kind of sandwich, it will fluctuate based on them. But I think the healthiest versions of us will find one that works for you and remain in that one, because it's the one that really resonate with you. I heard Jay-Z said this one thing. He said, I don't change who I am. Doesn't matter where I am, you will always find me the same person.
Right.
I'll always be the same person. And I think that takes a level of understanding who you are with the context of personality types, with the context of a whole bunch of other things that make us and shape us into who we are. So I know a lot's been said. Let me hear from you guys, man.
So real quick, and then I see.
Sure.
I just want to jump in. The context of personality type, right? You need a minute.
Yeah, man. It's hydration in me, man.
I got you. The context of personality type. Is it something we should be focused on to know more about self, or should it not be something we know? Because sometimes when you, like you said, you WebMD, you take these tests, you got, stub your toe, and you find out you got 6 months to live. Does it? And we put ourselves in these boxes, of this is who I am.
Right.
So like the good and bad, because that's what I always think about, the good and bad of knowing, because like I said, these personality types are growing, and now it's probably thousands, whereas before it was probably like 5, then it turned to 10. Like, you know what, you fit on a different spectrum. Let me study. Oh, that's another type, and it expands because all of us are so different. Is it something we should know? Like, should we focus on it, or should it be something we don't dig into? Because it's like, should you know who you are? It's like defining yourself.
Yes,
but we're defining ourselves based on studies.
Exactly, right. So I think you're onto something. All of us should definitely, knowledge of self is something that's really powerful, right? A person that knows themselves isn't going to waste a lot of time in spaces that doesn't bring value to them. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so they're not going to waste a lot of time in other relationships that aren't healthy, jobs that aren't healthy, right? You ever met that person? They're like, no thanks, and they're on their way. No, because they understand that certain environments align with who they are, other environments do not. But I think what you're trying to figure out is, what value do we get from knowing these things, and where do we learn how to know who we are, right? It's a collection of stuff, right? And so for the most part, when you think about psychology isn't a field that actually took the time to reflect on who we are as a people. When you're talking about people of color, when you talk about minorities, a lot of those studies that were done, I wasn't there. Were you there? Were your grandparents there when they did a lot of these studies, personality types? You know where we were?
Where we
swing low, sweet chariot, so a lot of these studies that were happening, even in more modern times, a lot of these studies, like there was a study that was done by the CDC in 1994, 1995, which is not so long ago, right? People can get behind that one. The CDC, everybody knows the CDC, which is the ACEs, the Adverse Childhood Experiment Study, which I've spoken about on this platform before. ACEs, right? Now, ACEs is a great study. Great study. You study about trauma and your childhood years and see how the trauma impact you in your adult years. Study was amazing. It brought a lot of facts, changed a lot of lives, helped a lot of awareness to see that traumatic experience in your youth can impact you, not just in your youth, but in your adult life as well. Now, limitations to that study. What is trauma, though? What is trauma to a specific people? What is trauma? Is trauma having your parents say, that's not that, or is trauma getting home and getting skinned alive? Because that's an expression that we would use. I'm about to get skinned, like what's trauma? And so how we measure trauma may have been one way for that study, but it didn't necessarily measure what traumatic experiences were for a set of people who didn't align with that study. I understand that study to be very helpful, but it's also limiting. Trauma for me was my neighbors fighting that I could hear through the walls before I went to sleep. Trauma for me was seeing my friend bloody because he got jumped. That's also trauma. That's not on that study case. That's not on that case study. Trauma was not being able to go to sleep because SWAT team was outside having a shootout. That's not on the study as well. And then frequency, meaning how often were these traumas exposed? So a lot of the things that develop into these theories came from a space where our understanding, our context, our cultural, our norms weren't necessarily a part of it. So to adopt something from somewhere that didn't necessarily see you and took your whole life experience, parents and so forth into consideration and say, this is who I am, I'm an introvert, it's very limiting to who you really are. So you have to do more research. You have to understand more about your own understanding, meaning there are psychologists, there are theorists that took a different standpoint. There were people who work with Elijah Muhammad, such as Naeem Akbar, who's a great Black psychologist. He's still alive. In fact, he's still in Tallahassee, got the grays very, but he's still sharp. The point is he wrote a bunch of books on personalities and understanding the self and really developing an alignment with what your true nature is so that you won't find yourself misaligned with who you really are. I know a lot of introverts who are not really introverted. And I know a lot of extroverts who are only extroverts because that's what they have to do to make ends meet.
Right.
Most of these artists, they're introverts.
Yeah.
They're introverts, but they have to develop another side of themselves, an alternate ego to be in the public spaces.
Right.
And so to just adopt one, this is who I am. Yeah, it's kind of limiting. You can learn about some facets of you, but don't necessarily put all that stock in one area. Specifically introvert, extrovert, sanguine, choleric. What's the other one? I can't remember the other ones right now. I took so many personality exams, man. Before I got married, before I went into my career, there are a lot of exams that you can take that will help your understanding.
Right.
But I think in that understanding, how can you grow it? How can you see what other areas that may be aligned with where your mind, where your spirit, where your body would like to go?
Right. That's good. All right. I'm gonna be quiet. Jump in it. You can jump in, Brian.
Brian is frozen.
Oh no, you there. You moving your head. Your mouth ain't moving.
Right. No, listen, I'll go back to something that you said earlier while the screen is frozen.
I don't know why it's hilarious. Because your mouth, you're sitting there looking, but I hear you talking.
Right. No, I can see myself frozen on the screen.
There you go. Okay, now his lips are moving. I think it's just behind. I think
it is.
Now it's speeding up. It's catching
up. I've been playing around with some stuff here at home, and I'm dealing with the consequences of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I'll get it. I'm doing some different things, so I'll get it figured out. But anyway, I think that you said something earlier, how personalities can be assigned, but even in naming children, right? You think about the Old Testament, like when Abraham named Isaac, right? The meaning of the name was laughter because his mother laughed when she was told she was having a baby, right? People were often named after situations, after circumstances. And to Matt's point, you were essentially sentencing the person from birth to the name that you gave them. Right. This is who you are. This is who you shall be. A lot of it was done based on the parents' desires for the child's life.
Right.
And we have, and to your point, Matt, we have to be careful with that stuff. We have to be careful that we don't put limitations on our children by how we name them, by how we treat them, by how we categorize them as they're growing up. Oh, you just like your daddy.
Oh, I was just about to say that. You just like your knucklehead daddy.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it comes from the biblical references of how children were named, even being named after significant figures that came before them, because they appeared to be just like them. No, you want me to be like them. That's what it is. Right. And so we have to be careful with that. But I will say that personalities, the concept of personalities plays a vital role in the success of an individual. That's how I look at it. I know that my personality has helped me. My personality has hurt me. And I've had to learn the lessons from personality conflicts. Right. So I think it's wide open. Right. As much as they play a significant role, I think it's just important to understand the fundamentals of being positive. I think it's important to understand positive attitude leads to positive behavior leads to success. and you're going to have a more optimistic outlook on stuff. I think that the way that the person thinks, and to your point, Matt, you're right. I have been called an introvert. I've never been an introvert. I am the opposite of introvert. But what is the opposite of introvert?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we have to be careful with that stuff so that we don't paint ourselves into a corner in terms of our ability to grow and evolve as individuals. So I'm gonna pause right there because I wanted to catch up. That's the stuff I wanted to say about 10 minutes ago.
I got you. My bad. My bad. Kadeem in the building.
Yes, sir. I don't know what type of personality I got.
Okay. That's good.
I don't know. Introvert, extrovert. I can't even put a label on it. So I couldn't even tell you, brother. Never really studied the definition of either one of them to know which one I was.
That's a good thing.
But I know what I don't like. I'll put it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the type of that I don't like. I know that part. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I really can't say, man.
Okay.
I'm reading the title. Are you stuck in a personality type?
Basically, because of the box of knowing, like when or feel like this is who I am. And this is all I am. I can't be any more than what they've already called me or what I've been named.
What you're describing is something that falls into the line of we develop a sense of learned helplessness.
Yeah.
Meaning whatever the label is, we have accepted it to be so true that we can't feel like we move out of that status.
Right.
Right. Like for example, kids getting bullied. Kids got elementary school, man. You gotta learn how to roast.
Right.
You gotta learn.
Yeah.
So if you got bullied every day, yo fat butt, yo fat butt, right?
I was that dude too. I remember back when I was in like 3rd, 4th grade. I had tough skin. I don't know if y'all remember tough skins, but anyway,
tough skin jeans,
huh?
The jeans.
Yeah, with the patches on the knees.
With the patches on the knees, yeah.
Man, I had tough skins. I
got Google these right quick.
How about you? I was like, I don't know about tough skins.
Hey man, that was my uniform at one point. We went to Catholic school and we had to wear brown tough skin jeans.
I had Pro Wings, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, Pro Wings, wow.
This was before kids and all that. Yeah, I'm talking about I had all that. Before Izod came out, I had the little it wasn't even the thread on the insignia wouldn't even stay on the shirt that I had. But I'm talking about these were Kmart specials. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it wasn't no. Well, back while we had Foley's and all that. I don't know if y'all know about Foley, but that was like a high-end store back in Houston. Okay. But anyway, so I got bullied and talked about early, 8, 9 years old, but that made me have to step my game up verbally, and physically. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you because you can't just sit there. Yeah, that's before your time, brother. So you had to step up verbally, because if you just didn't, you were gonna be a punching bag.
You say you came to school looking like this right here, boy.
Bro,
not the jacket.
I didn't have was the hat, bro. That's the only thing I did not have was that hat.
Hey man, that's clean. That's clean.
Oh, man. Hey, it was a trip though. But you talked about now. Mind you, this was back in the days of when everybody was rocking Run DMC. Wow. Everybody was, everybody was doing 2 Live Crew. So sweatsuits and leather was in, and you know what I'm saying. Then everybody had the starter jackets with whatever team you had. This was back then. I ain't had none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so let me pause for a second, because I was getting ready to say, I'm like, you wore tough skins. How did you wear tough skins? And I wore tough skins in middle school.
No,
so
tough
yeah,
skins,
man, you had it rough. If you were still wearing tough skins, you had it rough.
They had been out when I was, I was at the end of the rope.
I got you.
You might have been at the beginning or at
Right.
the middle
When they were good, like, oh,
you know
he
what
got
I'm
tough skins. He rocking them tough skins.
saying? And then not only that, mine was Husky Plus. You know, it ain't even have a number on it.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
I was in that category.
When I learned
Right.
like there was a category for young boys that was named Husky, I think I laughed for a week. When I found out that I laughed for a week, I promise you, right?
Yeah, bro.
Because I didn't know. I didn't know.
Too.
They had regular young men.
Yep. And
Right?
then
And
us.
there was a section that was over there in the corner that said Husky.
Huskies.
Yeah.
Huskies.
Yeah.
Listen, there was several of them. It was hard finding my size.
And what was so funny about it was Huskies with no IES. It was YS.
Right. HUSK
Apostrophe,
apostrophe HUSKY apostrophe S.
Huskies. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Like,
back in the day, man.
what type of marketing was that, man? What type of marketing was
They
that?
didn't want to say this is for the fat children.
Okay, well, that was a little better.
That was it, man.
Well,
That was
that's
it. Like, until then, shoot,
a funny
man.
word,
But I
man.
got to talk about. But it made me. Yeah. Oh, so somebody do know about Foley's. Okay.
Oh,
All right,
now,
then.
Macy's.
Okay.
Recognize.
So yeah, man. I mean, I remember that part, but it made me be more assertive with my speech and with confronting people.
Right.
And then it also made me understand, like, talking ain't gonna always work. Because I get it out. You have the next thing beep, somebody hit you upside the head. You know what I'm saying? So and don't let it ever. You don't know how to fight till you get in a fight. So a lot of folks like, you 8, 9 years old, you don't know how to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You learn how to fight by fighting. You know.
Right.
Now what you're talking about is how our personalities are developed by external factors. Now, of course, there's genetics. Mom and dad, they're gonna give you 50 to 70% of it based on who they are, who they've been, their parents, and so forth. But then there's environmental, meaning some of us grew up in some environments that created some personalities in us that we think are our own. But if we had the opportunity to be in different environments, we wouldn't be like that.
True.
I grew up in a hostile environment, so I was very hostile for a period of time in my life. Wow. Did I like it? Of course not. I didn't like that. I didn't enjoy that. Most of the kids it's survival. You have to go through that, but you didn't want to. You didn't necessarily desire to wake up in some of those environments where you have to grow such thick skin to survive. In fact, what that environment does, it limits your capacity to grow. What we
Matt,
need,
isn't that now you're working through the emotional intelligence category, right? Because of what I heard Kaneem say is he had to learn, he had to evolve, that talking wouldn't always work. And so he's managing his emotions. You said about being hostile because it came up in a hostile environment. So part of personality development, one category that you have to think about is your emotional intelligence, your ability to recognize and manage how you're feeling and what to do with how you feel. Right.
Yeah. Ephraim said everybody think they can fight, and then you get punched in the mouth, and then you get mad at all the karate movies you learned from. Thought you gonna just block that joint, didn't you? You thought you gonna see it coming.
That is funny.
Be like, wait a minute.
I'm not lightning fast for real.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was in that mirror like I thought I had it.
Yeah, I thought I could slide both feet back at the same time.
Right.
It don't work that way.
You know you can't fight when you tried that sweep move. That's the sweep move. With the legs trying to sweep somebody.
Oh yeah.
And then you don't knock them off their feet.
You get stopped.
No, Hey, but I'm telling you like this here. I had a little partner though. I don't know how my little buddy. We was over there playing basketball, and this dude. I mean, we're playing 2-on-2, and this dude probably about 6'5", 6'6". My little buddy, Junebug, he probably about maybe 5'8",
Okay.
5'7", 5'8". We playing, and Bug always could fight. You know, like you said, you learn how to fight.
Right.
And when they got into it, and I thought for sure, I said, "Hold on, Bug, we can double team your buddy, man." You know, now we talking to each other about whooping him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Bug like, no, I got this.
I got it.
I got it. Hey, and and the reason I bring this story up is because when you said about the sweeping part,
Right.
he didn't sweep though. He didn't sweep. Let me make that perfectly clear. He did not sweep.
He tried to do it though, right?
No, he didn't even try to do that. Bug did the ultimate. This let you know when you learn how to fight. Bug, he kicked him in his knee.
Okay.
And when he kicked him in his knee, buddy just went down.
That's it.
And that was it. Once your head is below my head, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
You get a couple of them.
Wow.
That was it. It was a wrap. It was a bing, 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 bing. It was a wrap. It was
listen, that's a personality type. That sounds like my personality type because I was always short. And so for me, fighting was never about looking pretty.
Right.
Fight was about surviving.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. And so
hey,
whatever I have to do to survive, you talk about me.
We was little scrappers back then, though. Because I thought we could double team for real. Like I'm like,
I don't know one.
I
don't know one Junebug who lost that many fights. It don't matter what city they from. Junebug ain't losing.
He lose every fight, right?
Nah, Oh, you got mess with Junebug? You by yourself, bro. I ain't mess with Junebug.
Junebug don't know how to stop.
Yeah, you mess with Junebug. That is a personality type.
So I kept that little recipe. And you know, when you get somebody taller than you, they got to reach on you for one.
Right.
So if you level the playing field, you give them something to limp with. It's hard for them to move because all you gotta do is just keep moving left or right. Just because they can't turn when you turn. You know what I'm saying? Because that leg is. Just keep it. Well, we old now. We ain't gonna be doing all that. I'm just saying for them younger folk.
For the young people that are listening right now that need a little tip, make sure you just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Even said hood statistical average of a street fight is only about 1 minute and 37
That's
seconds.
true, man. Listen, it takes a lot of energy.
Right.
A whole lot of energy. A whole lot of energy, man. You give it all you got. If that don't work.
Does this include the pre-fight junk talking? What you mean, son? What you saying, son? What you gonna do, son?
Nah, he's talking about the action.
We playing basketball.
We talking about action? Or
we talking about the action?
What you doing?
Action's only like
on the shoulder, like, what you doing? What you doing?
Oh yeah, nah, because when you out there like that, ain't nobody out there to break it up. Somebody,
we didn't watch.
We
didn't witness. We're witnesses.
Yeah, somebody get knocked out. That's all it is.
What Ephraim is talking about is about 1 minute and 15 seconds into that fight. It's already decided.
Right.
Yeah.
It's already decided. It's clear that there's a victor in that minute and 15 seconds. Right. You know, if it goes on longer than that, then somebody's getting really injured.
Right.
So you're right, man. You know, if don't let it stay too long. Somebody's gonna leave there really injured. So
Oh yeah, that's how it go down, man.
The more fights they won, right? Yeah, no doubt.
I'm sorry, you see, like I've been looking at them TikTok videos nowadays. Is when the girls be fighting, somebody always pulling the girls apart.
Yeah.
When them dudes be fighting, somebody get knocked out.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody pulling no dudes apart. Y'all, you laid out.
I would love. Listen to this. I would love to have some real scholars, right? Take about 2 years or however long it takes and travel through all of these hood experiences to develop other personality types. What other personalities are there? Because there's, that are specific to, and then you discover that maybe I wasn't this whole time. Maybe I had to, maybe my personality wasn't necessarily seen on paper like I thought it was, because some of these things don't necessarily classify us, and some of these things do cause us to feel stuck.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the expression of "that's all I know." The streets is all I know.
Right.
Right. That's a mentality that sometimes keep us stuck and right there. You know, all I can do is this. You know, this type of career. You know.
Yeah.
I've been a musician my entire life.
That's it. That's all I know. It's all I know.
Yeah, but you've been broke all your life.
I've been a struggling musician professionally for over 35 years.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I've been on the same train platform for
Right.
over 35 years.
That's why we gotta learn something different, man. The beauty of the brain is that it's capable.
Right.
You know, your brain is always capable. If it's getting fresh air, if it's functioning properly, it is capable to develop something new. So challenge it. You know, I love to explore what it's like to be in a different personality. There was a rapper who I love. Till this day, he's still one of my favorite MCs. He's still out there. His first album was an album based on multiple personalities. The album has names of different MCs that were rapping for different songs. He had about 5 or 6 different personalities that he, orchestrated very well based on the personality, was the style in which he rapped and the content in which he rapped about. He's an attorney now. He's an attorney, successful. He's still rapping. He still has, entertainment law and stuff. His name is Tracy Lee.
Thank you. Like waiting.
Tracy Lee. You got it. Tracy Lee. Tracy Lee. He's one of the only MCs that rhyme with Biggie successfully. What I mean by that is most MCs who rhyme with Biggie back in the day, they got toe up. But but he was one of those MCs who Big did a verse with, and it was a really popular song. I think it's called Keep Your Hands High, right? But multiple personalities inside all of us, man. I just love to see the facets of when it comes out and where it shows up. When I used to preach, different personality.
Right.
But when I'm on stage rapping, different personality. When I'm with my kids, different personality.
Right.
We've learned how to navigate the switch, but even that could be classified as a personality, a person who can successfully navigate, those different, spaces where something has to come up front.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I agree with that because I know I can flip that switch in any situation. At least in my mind, I say that.
Right, you feel like you're different. I feel like I'm different in this space right here. I feel like I'm different.
Man, I gotta call it quits early today, guys. I know.
You good? Late, but you good. We're about to shut it down. I'm gonna just say, Matt, the rapper needs to meet the kids, and they need to have a conversation.
Oh, you talking about Mat
Your
Jeanius?
rapping personality.
Listen, man, let my kids tell it. They'll tell you more about my rapping alter ego than they know. Trust me, they know.
Nice.
Yeah, they've met that guy. They spent some time with him.
Nice.
And they like him. I appreciate you guys, man. I'll see you guys soon.
Appreciate you being here.
Right.
Yes, sir. You guys make sure you follow Mat Jeanius on all platforms. Mat, M-A-T, Jeanius. All right, later. Ephraim said Method Man held his own on Biggie's first album, but you're right, most rappers can hang indeed. So we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Hopefully you got something out of this. Don't get stuck in personality types, but kind of understand. It's like understand your personality type, where you stand, but just don't get stuck in it. So I think that's the conundrum.
And the lesson, really, you think about the most widely used personality tool is the Myers-Briggs.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Indicator type.
Yeah. It's
the most widely used personality assessment tool.
Yeah.
And it was made by 2 women.
Yeah. Who weren't doctors.
Right.
weren't therapists. They were not. When I found out, I was like, what? Wait a minute.
From Switzerland.
Yeah, maybe that's why, because it was in Switzerland.
Myers-Briggs. It's named after them. Myers and Briggs.
Right. They weren't doctors. They weren't therapists.
So that's why you have to think about that stuff. You don't limit yourself to what man says.
Right. No doubt.
Because those 2 women were made by God.
Right. Message. All right. So we appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for adding that, Pastor, because I forgot about that. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for rocking with us. Appreciate you for all your support. Make sure you continuously share, join our community. Text LW into 84576. My podcast people, I appreciate you as well. Make sure you are rating and reviewing our podcast. I don't care, good, bad, or ugly. I don't mind seeing a bad review. Let me know so we know where we can improve. Let us know. Let us know. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. 988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, if all hearts and minds are clear. All right.
Glad to have my boy E back on the stage. Can't wait to see you.
Yes. Can't wait to have you back here with us on the screen. All right. So know that we love you. Jesus loves you more, or Jesus loves you better. Stay safe, make good choices, and drive safe. Drive safe. That's it. That's all. Peace out.